Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We're live. Today is October 5th, 2023. Man bender, these days, it's like they get shorter and longer and more tiring. Do you feel that
Did I?
way?
Yeah, I went out to feed the animals this morning because somebody is out of town that helps us, and it was like 6:30. I don't know. It was like 6:15, and it was pitch black.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm ready for the clocks to do whatever, make that move so that I have a little light when it's time to go out there.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that. So, yeah, here we go. We have data. That data was, good for the dollar, which was not great for equities. People are not losing the jobs at the clips that they want them to lose, even though I do think in some capacity we're getting some pretty mixed signals from the different job sources as far as what's actually going on in the labor force. I think that there's enough mixed signals to be like, what the fuck is going on? Um, so there is that. There wasn't a whole lot as far as, overnight type data or news or anything like that. Nothing that really caught my eye. I guess you can talk about Rivian. It's like, okay, so there was that. Um, Very, very mellow. The dollar sold off all night long. Sold it right into support. We ran right up into resistance. Same thing. 15 minutes, 20 minutes before data, we get the little sell down, and then we get the ultimate sell down to where we are now, which again, down to levels, it's still, make it seem like there's a shot that we can wibble wobble to the upside, that there's a shot. So you take
What was
all
the
that. They did
Rivian
like
news?
an offering and was down like 9% at one point this morning,
Nice.
like something really classy. Um,
Yeah.
so, all right. So we got that. We got that. Flow yesterday towards the end of the day, we saw some interesting lines throughout the day. We saw a decent sized put writer on Microsoft. We saw a nice line into Tesla for next week. We also saw a decent amount of what I would call lazy bear flow. Lazy from the standpoint that they just gave no fucks. It's like they were just slapping it, slapping it, slapping it. Like it's like, okay, we're going to zero in a straight line type activity. But there was enough when you take the Tesla line, when you take the 175 calls for weekly calls that were popping in on Apple yesterday. Nvidia also had some nice lines. It's like you start taking some of the mega cap names and looking at some of the flow towards the end of the week. That looks okay. So I don't know. We kind of have to make a decision here as we're bear flagging, you know, on the shorter time frames coming into where we are. So, Benner, I'll turn it over to you. You can do some charts and suches and whatnots, and I'm going to sit back and listen.
Charts and suches and whatnots. All right. Let me get a chart going here. Okay. Let's look at the 4 hour real quick, because this is kind of what we've been talking about is, what does that sort of shift look like, right? And to my eye, when I'm looking at this, I see, where did that drawing go? I see these lows right in here. We'll do something like that. And this area right in here as the potential case for that shift. So we came down, we made this low, popped back above these previous lows, and at the moment, we're holding in here, right? So really it's, we're going to see if we continue to hold this level. Again, we're looking at a 4 hour chart. If we get above that, this 4301, 4302 area, let's say up to 43. This candle's high is what I'm looking at right here. 43.1475. We kind of get up in here and can wobble our way up. 43.40-ish. On the bigger picture, that could start to look like a turnaround, right? So the potential is there, but we still need to make this move. You know, we were talking about right up in here, 43.70-ish. Actually, there's a tool that I like here. It's called Ghost Feed. As I try to remember where that's at. Here it is. Okay, so if you kind of look at, you know, if we were to kind of hold this level, work our way up here, you know, maybe pull back a little bit and kind of make this move higher up into here. Let's see if it prints these candles the way that it's supposed to. $60-minute here. If it's able to do that, you know, then it would start to look like up in here, if it pulls back into support, that would, to me, that would look like a market structure shift, right? So that's kind of why I've been talking about this 43.70 area to, you know, create that and give us that setup, because I think if it gets through there and it can hold up, you know, in this area, 43.60 to 43.70, that would look like a shift. Now, in the looking at closer targets, this 43.35.25, if you're looking at these candles that I drew in this ghost feed, if it's able to get through that and hold it, that would be enough for me to look at taking longs into, you know, fair value gaps in here. If we get a fair value gap like on the 60-minute left behind, even 15-minute that I can trade into, that'd give me enough to at least start, you know, trying on a small scale, kind of anticipate this shift, right, with tight stops. Once we get above that, then, you know, to me, that's like all systems go until it fails, right? It's not to say that's what will happen, but just kind of gives you a little bit of a picture as to what I'm looking for to give me that indication. And, you know, as I said before, if this doesn't push higher, then I'll look for this sort of setup at lower levels. But that is kind of what I'm, you know, the picture of what I'm looking for. If we zoom in, just kind of set up the day, here's a 15-minute. As Hell said, we had push down here, this 15-minute candle, leaving a fair value gap behind. So I'd want to see it in order to get, you know, any sort of move to the upside. We'd like to see it get above that candle's high, which is 42.9675. These highs here, this was just a wick above, right? You had relative equal highs in here on the 15-minute, and then it took it, like just wicked it and then pulled all the way down, right? So if we can break through that and leave that fair value gap behind on the 15-minute, that would look like a 15-minute market structure shift. And then we can zoom into a 5-minute and kind of look at the candles on 5-minute to give us potential entry. As far as downside, you got those London session lows down there. That's 43.27. sorry, 42.7725 are those London session lows. This box right here that I drew, let me darken that up a little bit. Like that. So this looks like, to me, this looks like this area could, if it bases here and it can hold up, kind of looks like, okay, maybe we've got a pivot. But it needs to hold up in here, right? So if it gets below 42.6550 and it doesn't just wick it and pull right back up, then we'll probably take out 42.5425. These lows right in here. And then the next target, 42.36. Below 42.36, I think there's a good chance, reasonable chance that we come all the way down here and test 4,200. Maybe not right away, but at this point, you know, that break down into these levels, 42.50s, mid 42.50s, or below 54, 42.54 half, would kind of invalidate that setup I was just talking about. And then we'd have to back on wait and see mode, just kind of scalping, right? Moving into a 5 minute, see if we see anything different. I don't think there's much else as far as that goes now. So again, we get the London session lows down here, 42.7725. That's if we come down and take that out. That's where I would be looking for the first reaction as a setup. Does it break through, trade up into a fair value gap that it uses as resistance? If so, that's a potential short opportunity. Or does it just kind of wick, make a candle up, leave a fair value gap behind, trade back down into it to set up a potential long opportunity if it takes it out? And the same thing goes the opposite if we take out this high right here up at 43.0175. So that's what I have on the ES. Again, this candle right in here, I think, is going to be telling as far as early, kind of the early setup. If it uses that as resistance and can't get through it. And the lowest sort of opportunity, lowest risk short early would be into the top of this, using the top of this candle as a stop, right? If you're thinking based on data or just your interpretation of the charts or whatever, that it's likely that we take out the London session low. If you get that bounce up, 42.90-ish, that would be a decent short opportunity. Although this 5 minute candle right here, we can see pushed up into the body of this one and then rejected. But that's kind of where the lowest risk short opportunity, at least current setup, would come in. Again, next opportunity being if it breaks the London low, pulls back into a fair value gap, that could give you a short opportunity. Let's look at, since Stonkington's not here, we don't have the Mr. Stonkington. He's going to be out for a couple days. Apparently, what's he doing? Bachelor party? So I'm sure that'll be wild and crazy.
Like basket weaving and
basket weaving. Yeah. Let's zoom out a little bit. So on the NQ, this 60-minute fair value gap is really interesting to me because it left it behind. We had that inverse head and shoulders, and then it popped through it, right? We sold off, came back down, didn't quite take that low out. So, man, these lows right here, a little bit scary. However, if we go back to the daily, we can see these lows, how long it took for those to get taken, right? So those can sit out there for a while. But but they are certainly a little scary just because they look too inviting. If I was wanting to make pain, take some people out, looks a little too inviting in this sort of head and shoulders here, potential setup. But this 60-minute fair value gap, you can see we left it open here. We created one here and used it as support. Created another one here. So you can see that level, right? Acting as resistance here, support here, and now we're through it. So again, similar to on the ES, I'd want to see this level if we're looking for, potential up. I'd want to see this level in here hold. So on the NQ, I just kind of take that candle's low right there, 14,804, about 79 handles down from current level. I'd want to see that continue to act as support. Right, this fair value gap right in here, I'd want to see that continue to hold as support. If we break this 14,803 half, then I see the potential for it to come. Let's look at the 15-minute here. And you can see on the 15-minute, bunch of stuff in here. If it takes out that low, that 14,803 area, I think we said it was 804 half on the 60-minute candle, but if it takes that out and trades, this is where it gets kind of messy right in here, because you can see how it might wick this and then pull back up. This would kind of be an area in here that I wouldn't be trying to chase short on a break below that. That would be, I think, difficult. When you see these down candles that are bought back up right in here, can make it really tricky. And chasing that short off the break of this candle right here can get you in trouble. If you're going to short on that break, let it break. Again, pull back into a fair value gap, and then you can look for that as a potential entry, knowing that you might have some stuff to deal with in here. I would want this stuff in here to continue to hold. If we're going to get any more upside. And again, a push through this, use it as resistance, pull down lower, kind of invalidates the idea of, the bottom being in. I know you said we got some flow that looked potentially like, bottoming flow towards the end of the day, like near high a day yesterday. Let's see if we get some more of that today. Ideally earlier.
Yeah, no, it's like you definitely need continuation. The only thing that I would say about all the setups, it's like the fact that we tested lows last night and have bounced, well in advance of even getting to them. I would say with the data in a lot of ways, it's like we still have a pretty decent shot at upside if I'm reading flow properly. If I'm reading it right,
I think flow is going to be really important.
It could be awfully squeezy to the upside when you have a mixture, and the components of that would be a mixture of bottoming flow, which there was a sprinkle, like a little sprinkle, right? And then you had the weekly call lines into Apple, Nvidia, and then Tesla next week. So that's short-term activity, and then lazy bear flow, which is ripe for squeeze. So there's some components in there that are offering that up. Now we have to get into the game and see what happens. Right.
Well, and it's pretty hard not to see this head and shoulder setup, right? But it's also pretty clear what it takes to invalidate it. And so, this is where we are. This is the situation that we're in. If we can get back above 15K, starts to look like it starts to look okay.
Yeah.
Starts to look okay.
4,300. Those are the two real marks in there. That little zone take and hold.
For now, it is still sort of wait and see. If anything, kind of got to treat it like a Head and Shoulders until it's not one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this 60-minute fair value gap in here, I think, is extremely important. Because I think if that breaks, I think this plays out, has the potential to play out and come back down and take these lows out. Possibility is there.
All right, very good.
That's what we got.
I think we have Sonny now, and Sonny's been setting the world on fire with some of these plays, man.
He sure has. He sure has. We need to, Sonny, I'm going to ask you, we got to figure out how to, when we're all looking at chart, this is always an issue, right? When we're all looking at charts and something gets typed out, and people have their eyes on their charts or their P&L or whatever it is, it's easy to miss that stuff. And I know you post it because I see it sometimes. I know you typically post them, but I only catch them sometimes where it's like, oh, okay, that's what he's doing. I just want to make sure that, we try to highlight that.
Yeah, I can try calling them out, maybe, if that helps.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, whatever you're comfortable with, but, I don't want to miss the party. So you've been doing.
I can call.
I mean, you hit a bunch yesterday, so
yesterday.
And I know you've been hitting them for a while, and I think the Gex stuff that you're tracking. I can't say that when you post kind of what Gex is doing. I can't say that I know how to interpret it, but you do. So teach us.
I can be more vocal going forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. So UK has also joined the US FTC into investigating the dominance of Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, the cloud computing market. I mean, if everybody else does shitty job and these three do a good job, they're going after them.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, and I don't think
this comes
Europe
up
is too far from joining the party.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Office is too good of a product. You have competitive advantage and monopoly and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, your cloud's too good. Sorry. Shut the fuck up.
Yep, pretty much. Hey, you have the resources to provide it, so you must be abusing it. Especially, I mean, they've been going after Microsoft for such a long time. And it's usually, either CRM or Oracle bitching about it. Those are the two that keep bringing up these lawsuits.
Yeah.
Google settled their lawsuit in Germany. So they're going to change their data collection policies, giving the users more control over the data versus Google deciding what to do with the data. So I think that is the beginning of this type of stuff in Europe, and which is good. Users should have more control over the data, what's done with it. And I think that's going to propagate and affect advertising and things like that. And, it's going to, like what we were talking about yesterday, like how TikTok's going to charge $5 and Twitter's going to start charging. So once they kind of lose this monopoly over data, they're just going to have you start charging you money to make up for that lost revenue through advertising. Another one, I didn't know this one. ChargePoint is the largest charging company in the US with 225,000 ports under management. And they are planning on making ChargePoint available like Wi-Fi is available. So they are going to be adding more at workplaces, hotels, grocery stores, gas stations, rest areas. That's their plan of growth. And I think they're going to get a lot of funding from the government on this. So definitely watch ChargePoint flow. We may get spikes here and there if this becomes main headline over the next couple of days. Hell's already covered about Rivian, the 1.5 billion, the suckered in everybody into that bull flow yesterday and after hours, created new investors. So that would be good. This news surprised me, and I thought it would be the opposite. So Walmart, their CFO or CEO, somebody came out yesterday and said, Walmart is seeing people buying less groceries because of the weight loss drug impacting their sales. Now I was thinking if you were losing weight, you would want to buy more groceries because now you can eat whatever the fuck you want to eat without going to the gym.
Wait a
Well,
second. Wait a second. It's so disgusting.
yes.
Carry on.
So they're actually, this is becoming a main headline now. They're talking about, what other stores, grocery stores and stuff is going to be impacted by this, which to me just sounds like fuckery. Um, um, Tesla news: Hyundai
Is
is
that
going to.
like good or bad for Golden Corral?
I think it would be good. I mean, you can eat whatever the fuck you want to
I
eat
don't.
now. Now you can lose weight.
I mean, is that the
Cracker
way that
Barrel.
is that the way that shit works? Like you take the pill, eat whatever you want.
I mean,
Sounds
that's what you would
like
think, right?
I don't. I mean, it sounds like
Isn't it like it suppresses your? I don't know if it either suppresses your appetite or does it just metabolize the shit out of your food and get
No,
it out?
it suppresses your appetite.
Yeah. So
okay. Then why
Golden
would you buy
Corral-
more groceries?
Yeah.
But
Or go to
I'm going by
Golden
the like,
Corral.
hey, you could eat whatever the hell you want to eat.
Yeah, but if your appetite is suppressed, like if I go to the grocery store and I'm not hungry, I'm probably just going to pick up a couple things. If I go hungry, forget it. That's bad move.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is becoming a main headline for grocery stores.
This is just it has so much pleasure wrapped up in it. Wonderful.
Tesla news. So Hyundai is joining Tesla's charging NACS or NCAS, whatever.
Nice.
So now all the companies that have joined are Ford, GM, Rivian, Mercedes. Um, so yeah, only a couple of companies left out of this now. And in the US grocery store, they're saying chicken prices have reached record high, and I think this is really good for Tyson Foods and Pilgrim's Pride. Both of them sell
That's
a lot of
weird,
chicken.
man. It's like I can get chicken wings now for $1.99 a pound.
Yeah, but you
Like,
also live in where you don't have these mega grocery stores. So
well,
there's
this is like the place where I can get it is like like a Vons or an Albertsons or like whatever you want to call it. So it's still big chain.
okay.
It's not Farmer John. Farmer John's theirs are expensive. They're like $7.99. Like when I say Farmer John, like the dude down the road,
Yeah.
across the creek, down through the holler.
I'm going to Costco today, so I'll check what the prices are. I usually buy bulk from Costco.
Right on. Yeah, chicken wing.
Chicken wings, yes. Upgrades, downgrades. Nothing. Let's see. Upgrade. AMX, CNP, ORLY, O'Reilly, yeah, auto parts. So the other day they had updated KMX, another auto parts company the other day. TT and UWMC. UWMC is one of those mortgage UPST type companies. Downgrade was CLX. So they already put out a news that the hack that happened is going to affect their earnings coming up. And that one was interesting because I was trying to find out who their IT services provider, because so Clorox, when I was with HP, they were a client of mine up in Oakland. And I think HP is still their service provider for the IT services. So this should be good money for them. The other downgrades: KZR, NEE, NU, TSCO, and SLGC. SLGC is a tiny stock. Event wise, we have the Dell Technologies Securities Analyst meeting today. Amgen, they have a FDA meeting, this waiting for some approval. EOSE, so we've seen a lot of flow come into this lately. This is a nice mover there at Smart City Expo USA. SPX levels, so we're kind of gamma negative 1.8. Large gammas are 40 to 30, 40 to 35, 40 to 50. There's a lot of support around 40 to 30, 40 to 35 area. Dark pool, nothing significant on the mega caps. Yeah, I posted it in my room. You can take a look, but there was nothing significant into XLK or any of the semiconductors. And that's about it.
Thank you, Sonny. All right, everyone.
Right.
I think we did a good job kind of setting the table. Yeah. Let's have a good day. Let's have a good day. I'm exhausted, Bender. It's like I need to mainline some fucking caffeine here, bro. All right. 8 minutes. See you soon.
8 minutes. 8 minutes till open. Don't fuck it up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Unless you're in Discord, then we'll see you in 8 minutes. Good luck.